Some farmers, Minister, have been told that they can't apply for those $75,000 because they don't meet the 50% threshold. They've been directed often, we're told, to the small business grants, which of course specifically says in the guidelines that farmers can't be a farm enterprise. Will you remove that clause from the guidelines to allow these farmers to access those small business grants?
Look, it's not something that we're looking at, but what I will say is that we are having a look, and we do need to, as a community and as a government, have a look at how these programs will continue to operate into the future. We are seeing more of these disasters at an increasing scale on a more regular basis in New South Wales. The amounts of money that have been allocated in recent times under this government compared to the previous government, which I'm not saying to indicate any kind of politics, but the amount of money that now has to go out the door for this kind of assistance is something that needs to be looked at. And what we need to move towards is assisting people with mitigation, assisting people with setting up their farms in ways that assist them when these kinds of disasters strike. Rather than waiting until after the fact and then going through these same processes. So we need to do some work on what that looks like going forward, because as everybody knows, they're happening far more frequently and far more extremely than they have at other points in history.
Minister, can I just clarify on that? You're adamant that there'll be no change to the small business grants to remove that clause to allow farm enterprises to be eligible? And if the answer is no, can I implore you to consider that?
As I've indicated, we're looking at how these things should be operating going forward. At the moment, I'm focused on making sure that we can get this money out the door as soon as possible. It's not something that I'm looking at now, but I'm very happy to take feedback and consideration on board from people who've been through this situation over the last couple of months, so that we can look at what the structures should be in place for dealing with these things going forward. Again, it's more frequent, more difficult, and the state's not going to be in a position to continue dealing with things in these ways. I know this is something that farmers consider. They want to work with us on that as well, and I want to work with farmers about the kinds of things that we can support people with to prepare and be more ready for, rather than waiting until afterwards.
Okay, well, can you take this as feedback through the local members like Tanya Thompson and Michael Kemp that we're asking you to seriously consider removing that clause? Minister, just as we sort of get to the end of this session, Josh Hack's an agronomist and a beef farmer up at Kempsey, and he was quoted in the media recently saying primary producers are telling him, and this is the quote, "They feel like the state government just wants to make it so hard that we just give up." Minister, how can we have got to the situation where farmers are feeling that after one of the most traumatic experiences they've ever had?
Well, it has been a really traumatic experience for people, and I continue to acknowledge that. I've met with many farmers from this part of New South Wales who've been through this recent flooding event, people up further north who were impacted by ex-tropical cyclone Alfred. This is a terrible experience for people to go through. How we can assist people to get back on their feet, what the role of government is in doing that in the long term is something that I'm very alive to. I make a point of getting out and about and talking to farmers directly to get this kind of feedback. It's a terrible situation that people have been through. We don't want to make things more onerous for people, but I do have to have proper, robust processes in place for the allocation of taxpayer dollars. As I've indicated, these more robust processes are based on recommendations from the Auditor General, and we'll continue to work with people about the best way to provide assistance, including, as I have done over the last week, to put additional resources or to ensure additional resources are put in to get money out the door faster.
Part of those additional resources has been so everyone gets some sort of contact. Minister, a generic email went out on Friday titled "Update on Recovery Grant Applications to all customers with RAA." Is that what we're talking about, contact with applicants? And is that enough for people like Emma, from Hunter Turf Co., who's lost almost $1 million worth of stock, to receive nothing but that generic email from RIA?
No, there was emails have been sent out. 1,027 customer phone calls were made. Text messages have been sent out. Contact has been made in various ways if the team at RIA weren't able to get in touch with people specifically. We'll continue to engage with people about what is needed, where their claim is up. We're telling them where their claim is up to, what the status is, if more information is needed, if it is not going forward, the processing times, all of those kinds of things. That has ramped up over the last week, as it should, and we'll continue to engage with people to get this money out the door.
Thanks. Minister, I just want to take you back to the small business grants and that change that has been asked for because some farmers aren't qualifying for the primary producer grants because you've got to have at least 50% of their income to be derived from the farming business. They've been told to apply for the small business grants instead, but then those criteria say that you can't be a farm enterprise. Our understanding is that some farmers have been told by the Reconstruction Authority that has been changed. That has been approved, that they can now apply. Are you aware of that?
I don't. The Reconstruction Agency is not one that is in my remit, but I'm happy to.
Yeah, but that's a grant under your purview as minister. So my point is that farmers are now being told that guideline has changed, that clause. Do you know if that is correct?
I'll have to take advice on that.
Does Mr. Orr, do you know?
As mentioned, my understanding is the small business grants administered by Service New South Wales. It's not administered by the Rural Assistance Authority.
Sure, but do you know whether that farm enterprise clause has changed?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, thank you for the clarity. And